Okay, so Roopa, this is your feedback for your 3C part 2. So this is the camera movements and camera angles one. So just in terms of how you've labelled it, okay, just be careful because this is actually 3C. I understand why the confusion is. It's actually 3C part 2 because part 1 was the beat editing and lip syncing one that you did last week. So just looking through, the resources that you're going to need are on the blog here. So if you have a look here, we've got homework and prep work, and this breaks down for you the pass criteria, which is here, then the merit and the distinction criteria is at the bottom. So the lesson that we did on this was under 2.1, which was the end of October, where we talked about techniques in music videos, and we had this wheel here, and what I did was I put some of the merit level answers, like to show power and intimidation, the kind of the explanation and purposes. So your job is obviously to kind of link them up and to think about how that that relates to the examples that you're picking. Okay, so let's look at how this is so far. So if we start off here, then we've got your camera angles. So you give me an introduction here as to camera angles. Now a tilt is not an angle. Okay, be very careful with that. A tilt isn't actually a movement. It is also not known as a Dutch or canted angle. They are completely different things. Alright, so unfortunately I wouldn't be able to give you a pass for that because it's incorrect information. Okay, what you would need to do obviously is you would need to go through the list here that we had for the homework task, and you'll notice that a tilt is completely different here from a Dutch or canted angle. Now the resources that you will need for this, to remind you of, is the thing here where it's got about camera movements, yeah, and it shows you what a tilt is. So I'd refer you back to that post under the lesson that we did at the end of October, 2.1.1 assessment 3C part 2. Okay, moving forward, we have got your explanation of what a canted angle is. It's where the camera is tilted to one side, but it's not a movement. It's actually like the camera is just angled that way. So this is generally done within films, so be careful here because we're not writing about films, are we? We're writing about music videos. So again, look, in music videos, not in films. So I think part of the problem you're going to have with this is that you're not actually writing about what the unit is about, so you have to be very careful there. It can be used, I agree with this is the purpose, but what you're not doing is talking to me about how it's used in that video. So I think this is a very low merit at the moment. Yeah, you would need to say in this video it is being used in this way to get the higher merit and to be able to then jump onto the distinction. Next one, you talked about high angle. So you've talked about how you do it. I haven't got anything in here so far about why we do it. So again, that is a pass because you're just telling me how you do it. Referring you back to this, there is no actual explanation of why we have a high angle shot. So none of these sentences have been used here. Okay, so that's a bit of a concern because obviously I can't give you the full marks for a merit for that. It's a pass. Again, you've talked to me here about what a shot. Sorry. A bird's eye view shot does. It is used to establish. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. But again, it needs to be sort of why we're using this. The reference for that is, and again, if you look at the video here, once again, I refer you back to this video that we looked at here for task 1. It's about dropping you into like a kind of film world. So it's this idea that it makes it seem quite filmic, as if you're watching a film. So like a narrative type of approach. Okay, so far we're on a pass really overall for that section. It needs work. Second bit is movement. So again, camera movements are used, there's a D missing there, depending on the genre. Okay, now all music videos will use camera movement. What you've got to show me is you understand why all music videos use camera movement. And again, once again, we've got these kind of things here to show frenetic energy, or to show to reflect the movement in the song itself. Now again, we spoke about that in class 2, about how it reflects the pace of the song by how the camera is moving. So here you've talked about the tilt movement, which is a bit of a shame because you kind of contradict yourself up here where you talk about the tilt movement. You've mentioned here about the dolly. Yep, so again you've said about what it does, but and you've talked about the importance and character. So yeah, I suppose we're onto a kind of lower merit there. But kind of, yeah, that's fair enough. The crash zoom that we discuss here, you've talked about what it is, intensity or revelation, yeah, or realization. Sorry, good. Okay, so what you could do now for the higher merit getting into the distinction is tell me about why this Fall Out Boy video uses it. Is it a convention, for example, of rock music videos to do that, as opposed to pop music videos, which maybe don't do that so much? So that would be how you take that forward. You've mentioned about the track away, that's good. Again, you haven't really discussed about why it's used in hip-hop videos particularly. Yeah, you've talked about why they use it though, so that's fair enough. Again, over-the-shoulder shot, not really kind of angle for us because it's not on the list, but it is true that you have talked about that. Okay, now you've attempted to compare, so yeah, so you've basically mentioned that you need angles to make it look interesting and unique in the eyes of the audience, but that's not what you've written up here. Yeah, this is about your genres, so why a pop video uses it, why a rock video uses it, why a hip hop video uses it, and how they rely on them differently. So I think once again what you need to consider here is about you're showing your understanding of movement and angles as a genre device. Yeah. Again, you've put this stuff in here, so you have shown how your own work demonstrates it, but we're not really showing the deeper kind of levels of understanding there that you would require for the distinction. Okay, this is good. You've talked about the claustrophobia that comes from the shot, so I think we're getting this up to a merit now. Yeah, so overall I'd say you're kind of in the sort of mid-merit area. I think you just need to be a little bit more specific in order to move it higher and to approach the distinction. But nevertheless, it's a considerable amount of work that you've done there. Very well done, and there is some confidence in there. So just fix that bit about tilt where it's incorrect, and you've secured the merit grade for this piece of work. Well done.